expires. There'll be an influx of these things at the end of the year. Everything's going to be marked expired on the 31st. It'll be awesome. They have plenty to do. It's real simple. I basically asked them, hey, I was curious why your property is no longer on the market. It seems like a very nice home. They may or may not know the property is on the market or not, but now you've brought it to their attention. And then my goal is simple. My goal is not to sell them about everything I do. I talk very little about that. My goal is to simply get in the door fairly. And then I ask some questions once we do that about, tell me about the house and about your motivation, so that I'm prepared for my listing presentation when I go. Any expired or even for sale by owner are good ones, and I'll tell you why. Because if somebody's willing to put a sign in your yard saying, I want to sell, the only problem is they don't have the right person helping them to get to their goal. Basically, you have to find their pain points. So you can do that by using the words who, what, when, where, how, and of course, why. And if you ask those as open-ended questions that they cannot answer with yes or no. So the more they talk, the better you're going to be. The more you're going to discover what's going on, and you're going to discover those pain points. And then you can provide basically solutions to those pain points. And if you get stuck and don't know what to do, or you get stuck in a conversation in the appointment, stop and just ask an open-ended question. So why was it you were selling? Or where are you going to go? Or what if it doesn't sell? Those are kind of things that you would use. Or just simply ask, says, what's the agent going to do different next time that they didn't do this time? So immediately I'd ask them and say, well, what was it that got you to put it on the market in the first place? I would revisit that to see, if I can get them remotivated about it. And then basically it's as simple as this. If nothing has changed and you still want that goal, how can we accomplish it for you? So tie it to the goal and not to the property. Everything. And I mean that from, I should never go on an appointment a second time in which somebody gave me an objection. I didn't have a visual to go over with them. So I always take a copy of the previous listing agreement and a red ink pen, and I circle all the imperfections so it looks like a teacher grading a paper. So when I turn it around, there's a lot of red marks on it. That gives an example of all the mistakes. So when they see it's very visual. And then everything I tell them, I show them with a visual, whether that's a dollar bill that I lay on the counter or a one pager that I pull out to talk about the example of what's going on, such as show me why you're better with photography. Here's a sample of the old photography that you had. Here's an example of what we would do. I can certainly understand how you feel. Inventory is limited. But what we might be able to do now is get your property on the market. We'll delay closing on your property until we find you a new one. If that would be something that would be acceptable to you, would you be okay with that? The thing is find the house you like. So you buy the house, you date the rate. You can refinance later. So the rate's temporary, the house is permanent for you. Yeah, our agents have more at their fingertips and just automatically done for them than most agents could even pay for in themselves. So just those options that an agent couldn't do on their own or in an independent firm, you have at your fingertips. They're automatically produced for you. The power of the brand. If you're competing against an independent, let's face it, they just don't have any of the tools and resources that you do. You simply showing them what they have will make you superior to anybody else you're going to go up against.